Adam, on Friday you said you're just going to go out there and play your way. You played your way and you got the win. How proud of you of the boys?
Yeah, we had a good night. Yep, absolutely. I think we're getting harder to play against at home, which is always the first step on a rebuild. So, Essendon game, we probably didn't play our greatest footy, but we're in touch, and the stats sort of weren't pretty. And that was a reflection of the last 3 weeks. But tonight we got the game on our terms for most of the night, and we got rewarded.
Bailey Williams, the question was, how's he going to deal with Max Gawn? And a lot of the guys helped him out where they could, but he just seemed to nullify the influence and just compete all night.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do against Max other than really focus in on, and I think as a collective, you've really got to put a work into him as a whole team. So, and he's so good. He's really hard to stop. I think he may have been the difference at certain stages, but Bailey, to his credit, did his best job as he possibly could. So we had a couple of role players tonight that I thought really stood up. Dom had Oliver for the most part. Even Jermaine Jones putting pressure on the front. Just little roles that we had for our players. They executed them well, and we all got rewarded.
What's the key to you specifically at home, Adam, to win 3 of your past 4 here?
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Essendon game as well, to lose by just 6.
The biggest key is probably the crowd. We've had a couple out there, I've noticed. Just trying to engage with them and bring them on our journey as much as we can. That and our past players. I think we've got a lot of First Nations players, past players in the rooms before the game, so we're trying to grow together with our fans and supporter base. So that was really important. And then the basics, and I've said this from the start. We're just trying to get good at clearances, general play, contested possessions, forward half turnovers. We're just staying basic. And every time we deviate, we seem to take a step back. So, yeah, the guys had a good night on those stats.
It's one thing though to challenge a good team, but when they then challenge you back and you respond, shows a bit more maturity. Were you happy with that level as well?
Yeah, well, we're not as young as a North Melbourne or a Hawthorn. We've still got 6 or 7 All-Australian Premiership, mature players who've dealt with big games. So I think our leaders are doing a tremendous job to stand up in important moments. Third quarter, we probably didn't handle great. I thought we lost our way a little bit, but McGovern, Duggan, Barrass, Darling's had 12 tackles tonight in forward 50. Waterman's now a mature age player. Dom. So there's some experience there. Some pretty good players still on our list that we just haven't seen together for 3 years, and hopefully we do get Oscar Allen back and Flynn comes in and plays his role, and there's one other there that I've forgotten. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble, sorry.
What did you make of Harley Reid's goal in the first quarter?
It was pretty good. I knew it was going to blow up social media. That's what I knew. He was really important for us tonight. And he's carrying a heavy weight at the moment. I'm really trying to be cautious about how much attention he gets, but when he plays like that, and it just looked like he had fun tonight, and that's our goal for him, is to enjoy being an AFL player. And some of the things that we do, in particular in the West, that sometimes it's not fun. So just keep an eye on him, can you, for us? We want to keep him here as much as we can. So when he's enjoying the game for what it is and playing to his strengths, then we're all happy. And if he plays well, we take that. But if he doesn't, then that's okay too. He's 19. So I thought he really enjoyed himself tonight.
People love looking at the highlights he's producing. What about you as a coach? How much do you kind of just admire it?
Oh, yeah, I really admire. So Tommy Cole played his 100th tonight, and his video before the game was as good as anyone's, because he does the team things, tackles hard, players love him, and Harley will have a highlights package probably maybe a little bit better than Coley's when he finished his career, but I think being a good teammate, playing his role, I think that's what he wants to do. He wants to play with his mates and he wants to play to win. I've said that from the start. So, yeah, I know you guys, it's going to blow up again, but we're trying to be nice and even with him.
How do you see the connection between him and the crowd in those big moments like tonight?
Yeah, well, that's part of what I said earlier. We're trying to connect with our crowd as much as we can. I think it's a real advantage. If we get 50,000 rock up, it doesn't matter if it's Harley or First Gamers or McGovern, we think it's an advantage, and we've lost that for a few years, and that's on us. So we really want to engage our supporters as much as we can. And Harley, obviously, is the new toy, but he's yeah, he's pretty good to play with.
Ryan has a bit of a spring back in his step. He looked
Yeah.
a little bit different in the last few weeks tonight from the get-go.
Yeah, we've got to be patient with Liam. He's missed 12 months of football. He's had 2 surgeries on both hamstrings. So, and he did his hammy flying for that mark against Freo, I think it was last year. So we're just got to be patient with him. But it felt like he had a spring in his step. So Doug Nichols round, all our First Nations boys play with a little edge on their shoulder tonight, and we really enjoyed seeing him out there.
So say, how much did that inspire Tim, especially early? The first 10 minutes of the year, had 7 touches and 3 clearances. He just came to play tonight.
I think he comes to play every week. Yeah. So maybe there's a little bit more there, but I think TK's carried the load of our midfield for so long. And without Yowie and with a young crew around, I think him with Dom a little bit tonight were sensational with their roles and what they had to do. And then obviously our young guys get to express themselves, like Ruben and Chesser and these guys added value after those guys led.
Was there any sign during the pre-season that Jake Waterman was going to produce the season he is at the moment? He's got sticky hands.
He's got sticky hands. I think Matty Knight's going to our forward lines really helped Jakey express himself. So he's got a lot to do with that. Letting him play to his strengths, fly for your marks. Maybe JK not being around, or Oscar, maybe he's flexing a little bit, Jakey. So, but he's a role player still, and he's playing his role. He's competing, and our forwards, we just want him to compete, and then the pressure comes off that. Oh. Sure. Oh, he come back on, so that's good. I don't think so, not yet, but let's just see how we wake up tomorrow.
With Elliott being out, clubs are managing players through the midfield. Has it hindered the way that you're managing your midfield? You like to have been able to give someone a rest over the past couple of weeks while Elliott's been out?
Yeah, Elliott. So I think trying to manage our players, they've been out for so long, and Gov's part of that, and Barras and Oscar and Liam. To expect them to come and play every game, I think it's a stretch. So Yowie missing a week or two is not the worst thing for him. It would have been great to be on our terms though. So he was really close to playing this week, but we made the right call. Well, he made the right call not to play. But yeah, I think our older players who have been through a lot in the last few years and have struggled to be on the ground, we probably need to be aware it's a 24-game season. It's just there's a lot to take on. So yeah, we'll try and do it, but I think every club's thinking the same. Injuries have gone up big time.
Early in the season, Adam, you said you hadn't even looked at ball movement. You were just focusing on getting out first step, basically, with your game. How much are you looking to it now?
No, we haven't really touched on our ball movement because we've got other priorities. So our kickings are going all right at the moment, but that's Gov's just hitting a couple of good kicks, and we just take what they give us. But we're not neglecting it, but it's the priorities: contest, defence, field position, clearances, and then the ball movement. If you have to build up from the back half like we have been for 3 years, it just doesn't sustain itself. So we need to be a front half team eventually.
A little bit more came out today about Tyler, and he's officially
Brockman.
charged. Yes. Is he going to be available to play at any level in the next few weeks leading into his court date?
We'll work through that. Now we've got a bit more information, and that's why we haven't been able to really keep you updated. It's out of our hands a little bit, so we're looking after the person at the moment. So we'll get together in the next few days. We put some things in place for him to support, and also to understand he's made a mistake as well. So we'll keep you updated as soon as we can. I reckon by midweek we'll have real clarity about where he's at, what to do. He's already missed 2 or 3 weeks, so we'll see how we go with that.
How is he going on a personal level, though?
He's okay. Yeah, he's okay. It's just something we have to deal with. It's not the first time someone's made a mistake, so we just have to put our arms around him at the same time. He needs to be accountable, so we'll work through it.